Stop. Before you scroll past this, silver just did something it has only done 4 times in the last 30 years. 4 times. And every single time it did this, what came next was either the biggest opportunity of the decade or a complete wipeout. Right now, in this exact moment, we are sitting at that crossroads, and most people have absolutely no idea. If you're watching from Money Insights, make sure you like this video right now and subscribe, because we put out alerts like this when things are moving fast, and you do not want to be the last person to find out. Now let's get into this, because this is serious. 20%. That is how far silver has dropped in recent months. 20% from its highs. And before you say, okay, so it went down, markets go down all the time, I need you to understand something. This is not a normal pullback. The way this happened, the speed at which it happened, and most critically, what is sitting on the other side of this drop, that is what we are here to talk about. Because something is building underneath the surface of this market that most retail investors will not see until it is already too late to position. Here is what nobody is telling you on the mainstream financial channels. When silver dropped 20%, the headlines screamed panic. Retail investors sold. Fear spiked. Everyone ran for the exits. But while regular investors were dumping silver like it was radioactive waste, the smart money was doing the exact opposite, quietly, methodically, without making a single announcement. And that gap between what retail is doing and what institutional money is doing right now, that gap is where fortunes are either made or destroyed. Let me take you back to something first, because context is everything here. Think about 2008. Silver was absolutely crushed during the financial crisis. Absolutely hammered. Everyone said it was over for metals. Sentiment was at rock bottom. But then, from late 2008 into 2011, silver went from roughly $8 an ounce to nearly $50 an ounce, nearly a 500% move. The people who bought during the panic, during the 20% drops, during the fear, those were the people who changed their financial lives. The people who sold because they were scared, they missed one of the greatest commodity runs in modern history. Now, I am not here to tell you 2025 is exactly 2008, but I am here to tell you that the pattern we are seeing right now has some very uncomfortable similarities, and you need to know about them. So what actually caused this 20% crash in silver? Because understanding the cause is the only way to understand whether the selling was rational or emotional, and those two things lead to completely different outcomes for your money. First, you had dollar strength. When the dollar strengthens, commodities priced in dollars get hit. It is mechanical. It is not a commentary on the long-term value of silver. It is just math. Dollars go up, silver price in dollars comes down. Second, you had interest rate pressure. Higher rates increase the opportunity cost of holding non-yielding assets like silver. Institutional investors do the math. They rotate out temporarily. Third, and this is the one that most people miss entirely, you had a wave of speculative long positions getting liquidated in the futures market. Hedge funds that had built up leveraged long positions in silver were forced to sell to meet margin calls in other parts of their portfolio. That forced selling created a cascade, a waterfall, and it pushed silver far below where its fundamental value actually sits. Let that sink in for a second. A significant portion of this 20% decline was not about silver being worth less. It was about leveraged traders being forced to sell something that was not even the problem. They had losses elsewhere, and they needed to raise cash fast. Silver was liquid. Silver got sold. And now, the price reflects that forced, panicked, irrational liquidation, not the real story of silver in 2025 and beyond. And here is where the story gets truly interesting. Here's where it shifts from fear to something that should make every serious investor sit up straight in their chair. The industrial demand picture for silver right now is unlike anything we have seen in previous cycles. We're not just talking about jewelry. We're not just talking about coins and bars for retail investors. We're talking about solar panels, electric vehicles, medical devices, 5G infrastructure, advanced electronics. Silver is not just a precious metal hedge anymore. It is a critical industrial input for the technologies that every government on the planet is racing to build out. And here is the brutal reality. Supply has not kept pace with that demand. Not even close. The Silver Institute, and I want you to go look this up yourself after watching this video, has been reporting structural supply deficits in the silver market for multiple consecutive years. That means the world is consuming more silver than it is mining and recycling, every single year. And yet here we are with a 20% price crash driven by short-term financial mechanics. Do you understand what that creates? It creates a coiled spring, pressure building underneath the surface that eventually must release. The only question that matters, is whether you are positioned before that spring releases or after. Now let us talk about the smart money, because this is where it gets psychological, where it gets almost eerie. In the weeks following this 20% crash, something unusual started happening in the silver ETF market. Holding stabilized, in some cases, they actually grew, meaning that even as the price was falling, even as retail investors were panicking and selling, institutional holders were not rushing to the exit. Some were adding. And in the futures market, the commercial traders, the banks, the mining companies, the industrial users, the so-called commercials, who historically have the best track record of being right about silver's direction over the medium term. Well, their positioning shifted in a way that historically precedes major upward moves. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a guarantee. Nothing in markets is a guarantee. But when you combine structural supply deficits, industrial demand acceleration, a price drop driven by forced selling rather than fundamental deterioration, and smart money positioning that looks increasingly bullish, you have a setup. And setups like this do not come around every year. They come around maybe once in a cycle. But here is the part that keeps me up at night. Here is the thing that I think every person watching this video needs to genuinely wrestle with. We are entering a period of extraordinary global uncertainty. Geopolitical tension between major powers is at levels we have not seen in decades. Government debt across the developed world is at historic highs. Central banks are caught between fighting inflation and preventing financial system stress, and they cannot fully do both at the same time. In environments like this, historically, not as a theory, but historically, real assets with industrial utility and monetary value tend to significantly outperform. And silver sits at that exact intersection. It is the only major asset class that is simultaneously a monetary metal and an industrial metal. It benefits from inflation fears and from green energy buildout. That dual identity is something gold does not have. That dual identity is what makes silver, at the right entry point, potentially one of the most asymmetric bets available in this market. And here is the asymmetry I want you to think about carefully. If the macro environment stabilizes, if rates come down, if the dollar weakens even modestly, silver's industrial demand story alone is enough to drive significant price appreciation. The fundamental supply-demand math works in your favor even in a benign scenario. But if the macro environment does not stabilize, if inflation proves stickier than expected, if geopolitical shocks hit global supply chains, if there's a banking or financial system stress event, silver's monetary value kicks in on top of the industrial demand. You get both. And historically, when you get both of those drivers operating simultaneously, silver does not just go up, it goes parabolic. It moves faster and harder than gold. It moves faster than almost anything in the commodity complex. That is the upside scenario. Now, let me give you the honest counterbalance, because I refuse to be another channel that just tells you what you want to hear. There are real risks here. If industrial activity globally slows faster than expected, if we get a hard recession, not a soft landing, demand for silver in manufacturing and technology does get hurt. If the dollar stages a sustained, prolonged rally that goes beyond what most analysts expect, it creates continuing headwinds for all metals. If the green energy transition faces political setbacks in major economies, the structural demand thesis gets delayed, even if it does not disappear. These are real risks. Anyone who tells you there are no risks in this trade is either lying to you or does not understand the asset. What I am saying is that when you weigh those risks against the potential reward, and when you look at the current price level after a 20% crash, the risk-reward profile is arguably as favorable as it has been in years. That is the honest assessment. Here is something else most people do not realize, and this one genuinely surprises people when they hear it for the first time. Silver's price is extraordinarily sensitive to investment demand, unlike, say, oil, where the market is measured in trillions of dollars of annual trading. Silver's total above-ground investable supply is actually quite small in dollar terms. What this means practically is that when institutional money decides to move into silver in a meaningful way, the price moves violently. When even a fraction of the capital sitting in bonds, equities, or cash decides to allocate to silver as a hedge or as an opportunity play, the impact on price is disproportionate compared to what the same capital inflow would do in a larger market. This is why silver can be quiet, almost ignored for months or years, and then suddenly explode 30, 40, 50% in what feels like no time at all. Not because something dramatically changed overnight, but because the accumulated pressure of constrained supply meeting a surge in investment demand releases all at once, explosively. And right now, the preconditions for exactly that kind of move are assembling piece by piece. So the question that I know is in your head right now, and I want to address it directly because it would be dishonest of me not to, is this. Has the bottom already happened? Did we already miss the entry? And here is my honest answer. Nobody knows where the exact bottom is. Nobody. Anyone who claims to know the exact bottom is lying to you. What I can tell you is this. Buying after a 20% crash, when the fundamental thesis is intact and the selling was driven by forced liquidation rather than deteriorating fundamentals, that is historically a better entry than buying after a 20% rally. when everyone is already excited and the move is already well known. Fear is cheap, euphoria is expensive, and right now the sentiment around silver is fear and exhaustion, exactly the kind of environment where, historically, the most important entries happen. Let me paint you two pictures of what the next 12 to 18 months could look like, because I want you to sit with both of these images in your mind as you think about what this means for your own financial situation. Picture 1. Silver consolidates at these levels for several more months. It is choppy, frustrating, boring. Retail investors give up entirely. Volume dries up. And then, quietly, without fanfare, it starts moving. At first, it looks like just a bounce. Then it breaks a key technical level. Then institutional money accelerates the move, and by the time it is making headlines, by the time it is trending on financial Twitter, by the time your coworker mentions it at the coffee machine, the bulk of the move has already happened. And you are either in it, or you're watching from the sideline wishing you had acted when everyone was still scared. That is picture 1. Picture 2, the macro environment deteriorates faster than expected. A shock event, geopolitical, financial, economic, hits global markets. Equities sell off hard. And in that environment, the capital that rushes out of risk assets looks for somewhere to go. Some of it goes to gold. But silver, because of its smaller market size and its combined monetary and industrial identity, catches a disproportionate share of safe haven flows simultaneously with any potential policy response of looser money. In this scenario, silver does not just recover its 20% loss. It makes new highs. And then it goes further, much further. Picture 2 is more volatile to get through, but the destination is dramatically higher. Now, here is what I want to leave you with. Here's the thing that should make you feel the weight of this moment. We are at a point in the global financial system where the rules that governed the last 4 decades are breaking down. The low inflation, low rate, dollar-dominant world that investors have operated in for the last generation is being challenged, structurally, geopolitically, technologically. In transitions like this, in genuinely historic inflection points, the assets that benefit are not always obvious in advance. They are only obvious in retrospect, once the move has already happened. Silver, sitting at the intersection of monetary value and critical technology, is positioned at the center of this transition in a way that feels less like speculation and more like inevitability. The 20% crash did not change the direction. It changed the entry point. And entry points are everything. There's a reason the wealthiest investors in history have said that the best opportunities look most dangerous at the moment they arrive. The best entry points feel terrifying. They feel like you might be making a mistake. They feel like everyone around you is telling you something different. This moment, right now, after this crash, feels exactly like that. And I have been doing this long enough to know that that feeling, that specific uncomfortable feeling, is often the signal worth paying the most attention to. Most people will watch this video and do nothing. They will wait for more confirmation. They will wait for the price to go higher before they feel comfortable enough to act, which is exactly backwards from how wealth is actually built. The people who transform their financial situations do not wait for certainty. Certainty does not exist in markets. They act on informed asymmetric probability when the setup is right. And then they manage their risk. They size their position appropriately. They understand their downside. They do not bet the house, but they act. They do not wait for the moment to become obvious to everyone, because by then, the opportunity is already priced in. I want you to do one thing after this video. Before you close your phone, before you go back to whatever you were doing, I want you to look at a silver chart, a long-term silver chart. Look at what it did after every major crash. Look at the pattern. Look at where we are right now relative to where we have been. And then ask yourself honestly, not with fear, not with greed, but with clear eyes, whether you want to be the person who was paying attention when this set up, or the person who looked at that same chart 12 months from now and said, I saw it coming, I just didn't act. Because here's the thing about silver, and honestly, here's the thing about every great market opportunity in history. It does not wait for you to feel ready. It does not wait for the fear to subside. It does not announce itself with a trumpet and a green blinking light that says, buy now. It moves when it moves. And when silver moves, when the real move begins, it moves fast. And the window, the entry window where the risk reward is still in your favor, is narrower than most people realize. The 20% crash already happened. The blood is already in the streets. The forced sellers have already sold. The next chapter of the silver story is being written right now, in the quiet, before the headlines, before the noise, before the crowd figures it out. You are here, you are watching. You are paying attention while most people are not. The real question is, what happens next? Because what we have not talked about yet, what is building in the global monetary system right now, what the central banks of the East are actually doing with silver and gold behind closed doors, and why the next 6 months could see a move that makes this 20% crash look like nothing more than a small bump on a very, very long road upward. That is a story we are going to cover in the next video, and you do not want to miss it. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure notifications are on, because when we drop that next video, you are going to want to see it before the rest of the market does. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.